You guys, I have a confession to make. Now that I've hit 1,000 subscribers, it's getting a little difficult to live here in New York City. I can't go anywhere without the paparazzi chasing me. I'm not even safe at the knitting factory's bi-monthly emo night, or that dumb ice cream place that sells sour milk flavored soft serve. The only solution is to move to LA. Okay. Alright guys, in all seriousness, I just got back from LA. Not moving there yet. My boyfriend is from there, his family still lives out there. We both think that's where we're gonna end up eventually. But for now, if you didn't know, I'm currently living in concrete jungle where dreams are made of. But I did just go on a trip to LA to visit some friends and to visit my boyfriend while he was visiting his family. So I thought it would be exciting, in typical Haley in the Details fashion, to do a thrift haul. But here I want to talk about the differences between thrifting in LA and thrifting in New York. Now, of course, I don't live in LA. I don't know everything about thrifting there, but I've visited many times. I'd say the main difference between thrifting in LA and thrifting in New York is that in LA, you're gonna find a lot more of those trendy Instagram type brands, whereas in New York, you might find more vintage, more designer, and more regular brands. Now, obviously, you're gonna get a mix of all of those things in both locations. That's just my experience. On my trip, I think I went to about 7 or 8 different thrift stores, but I only got things at 5 of them. Anyway, let's get into the outfits and show you what I got. So first, I'm gonna start off with Crossroads. Crossroads is a chain of consignment stores that sells mid-range to lower range brands, but then some higher end things like Reformation. Anyway, the Crossroads in Studio City was where I had the most luck thrifting in terms of bang for my buck and quantity of items. The first thing I picked up was this gorgeous 80s looking puff sleeve embroidered top. It was originally from Anthropologie, so probably would have been $100, over $100, I'm not sure. Either way, I think I paid about $14 for it. If you watched my last video, you know I talked about the quilting, boho, grandma trend going on for this fall and winter, and I feel like this top perfectly encapsulates that. I have it tucked into these green linen pants that I got from the Goodwill outlet in New York City, and my adorable 80s lace-up boots from Depop. I also have my little bucket bag that I got at work. The next piece I picked up was this silky pleated leopard print mock neck top. Now, I'm not really sure where this came from because the tag was cut out of it, but it seems like higher quality while at the same time being kind of trendy, so maybe it came from a place like And Other Stories. Either way, I went for some subtle pattern mixing with this outfit by tucking it into a pair of plaid pants that I got at Goodwill in New York City, and for that equestrian trend that I mentioned in my last video, I tucked in my Frye boots. The last item that I picked up at Crossroads was this amazing paper bag pair of pants that were originally from Urban Outfitters. I also got these pants for less than $10. For this outfit, I wanted to go all black. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while or you know me in person, you know emo and pop punk are my 2 favorite genres of music. For whatever reason, I don't really express that on the outside too often, so it is fun to put on a really edgy outfit every now and again. I went for this sweater top that was originally from Brandy Melville. I just rolled it up to give it sort of that under boob effect. Then I threw on my thrifted pointed toe boots that were originally from Stuart Weitzman, but I got them at Housing Works here in New York City. Okay, so that was it for Crossroads. The next store I went to, also in Studio City, is called Wasteland. Now, Wasteland is a bit higher end. This is a designer consignment store. They do have pieces that go all the way up into the thousands. What they also have, though, that I'm really excited about are some genuine vintage pieces from those really high-end designers. The first thing that I picked up was this beautiful cropped puff sleeve cardigan from Moschino. This, I believe, is genuine 80s or 90s vintage. It sort of looks like something a grandma would wear, but it also sort of looks like something you could get at Brandy Melville nowadays. The bedazzling is a very extra touch, but somehow, since it's in a nice neutral color and it fits well, it doesn't feel excessively tacky. I got this for $68. It could have originally retailed for over $1,000. It's really well made, and I'm just so excited about it. So I paired the top with these vintage 80s Lee jeans that I got here at L Train Vintage, and my white Ferragamo pumps from Goodwill. The next thing I picked up at Wasteland is this pair of wide leg linen beige pants. Now I know this looks like a lot of things in my closet, but when I tried them on, I kind of couldn't resist. So Faithful, the brand, is another sort of mid-range designer. A lot of fashion bloggers on Instagram promote their stuff. Anyway, these pants are sort of the perfect thing for that transitional season because they look sort of fallish, but they're very light. I paired them with the top that I'm wearing now, which is a vintage button down that I got at Beacon's Closet in New York, and I threw on my vintage cowboy boots from Housing Works. Again, I've mentioned before, these are up on my depop, but unless you're willing to pay the hefty price, I'm going to keep them for myself. The last thing I picked up at Wasteland was this super Instagram blogger beaded bag. It was originally from Urban Outfitters. I know this was more of a trend for the summer, but I always liked this bag and I told myself that if I found one at a thrift store, I would buy it. Anyway, I paired it with this top that was originally from Eggy that I got at Beacon's Closet here, these wide leg jeans that I got at Beacon's Closet, and my Ferragamo pumps. Next, I'm gonna talk about Buffalo Exchange in LA. I went to 2 different Buffalo Exchanges while I was there. I feel like the things that are at Buffalo Exchange in LA are a little less high fashion. They're a little more street style. They're a little more like cropped and neon and all the trends that you see on Instagram. If you're looking for more of the vintage pieces that they sell at Buffalo Exchange in New York, you're probably not gonna find that. Anyway, this is what I did pick up. I believe these are contemporary pants, even though they're very 80s looking. I picked them up because hot pink is definitely a trend for fall and winter, especially when paired with darker colors like black. Sadly, these did not have a tag on the inside. Maybe they were part of a costume or something. That's another thing you might find while thrifting in LA. Since there's so much filming going on in LA, sometimes you'll find wardrobes from shows and movies that just aren't used. I paired the pants with this vintage 80s button-down shirt that my boyfriend picked up here at Monk Vintage. I've borrowed this from him so many times that it's basically mine at this point, but I love how the almost reddish pink geometric pattern on this shirt matches the pants so perfectly. And then again, I threw on my Stuart Weitzman vintage pointed toe heeled boots. The next place I picked up only one item from was called Iguana Vintage in Sherman Oaks. Oh my god. I probably would have gotten more things from this place if I had more time to look around. They have an enormous selection of pretty much any vintage item you could want. If you want a tutu, if you want overalls, if you want leather pants, if you want a schoolgirl skirt, you'll be able to find here. In that sense, I feel like it's a little bit like L Train Vintage, specifically the Urban Jungle location here in New York. The piece I picked up is this lovely hot pink 1980s late 1970s button-down shirt. I tucked it into a pair of acid wash Lee jeans that I got at L Train Vintage, and again threw on my Ferragamo pumps. I paid $20 for this shirt, which is a bit much. That's kind of closer to the pricing you would see here at Beacon's Closet, whereas if I got a shirt like this at L Train Vintage, it probably would have been like $6, but that's okay. I really love this piece. It was in great condition, so decided to pick it up anyway. It's got this gorgeous ruffled sort of yoke V-shaped pattern. If you watched my last video, I got a top from Ghani that had that same shape. This outfit kind of made me feel like a sexy 80s kindergarten teacher, but I'm cool with that. The last item that I picked up on my trip to LA was from Council Thrift Shop. So I know Council Thrift Shop has a bunch of locations. This is the one in Studio City that I went to at the same time I went to Crossroads and Wasteland. So this beige duster coat is actually from Max Mara, and I knew Max Mara was a high-end designer, but I wasn't sure what the price range of the items would be. So when I saw this coat, I just Googled Max Mara coat, and everything that came up was like $1,700 or above. Now I do think this is a vintage piece, probably from the 90s. Might not have been that expensive originally, but it's cool to know that this could have potentially been like a $5,000 coat that I got for $10. So for this outfit, I wanted to show how you could take something summery, like a floral pastel dress, and make it fall appropriate. I feel like fall and wintry beiges are gonna be really in trend this season. And like I said in the last video, matching black with beige is a big trend for fall. So this dress that I got from Reformation, I just paired with my Stuart Weitzman ankle boots and my Baggu tote bag, which is my everyday bag. Carry this pretty much everywhere. The story with this coat is that I saw it on the rack and then someone else picked it up, and I kind of secretly followed her around the store hoping that she would put it back down. It looked like she was gonna buy it, but then finally she set it back on the rack because she saw a microscopic pinhole on the lapel, and I was like, this is like a $5,000 coat. I really don't care about that, so I'm gonna buy it anyway. So that is everything that I thrifted in LA. Let me know in the comments which piece was your favorite and if you would be interested in seeing any of these pieces up on my Depop. I'll be restocking my store because things have been selling like crazy. And if you want to keep up with me on the day-to-day, follow me on Instagram. And again, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm so excited about that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do any type of video that's related to that. I've been wanting to do a Q&A forever, but whenever I go on Instagram and ask people to ask me questions, I just don't get enough. Most likely because everyone there like already knows my life story. So if you want me to do a Q&A, please leave me some questions. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.